Hey guys, you're watching Tech Radar. My name is Basil, and after over 48 hours with the Honor 10, that puts me in a really good position to tell you what we think about it ahead of the full review. This phone has a 5.84-inch display, 128 gigabytes of storage on board, and costs here £399. That screams value for money from the offset. And from the design to the screen to the insides, it sounds good on paper. But how does it feel? Well, it feels great. The curved glass back sits really comfortably in the hand. The metal frame feels nice and rich, and on the front you've got an ultrasonic fingerprint scanner below the display. That means it works even when wet. You've also got a headphone jack at the bottom, as well as a USB Type-C, which supports supercharging for very fast charging, and there is a loudspeaker, but it is a mono loudspeaker, so you can cover it up really easily if you're gaming, for example. You've also got an infrared blaster at the top, which means this is a remote control. Inside the box you've got a case for this phone, so it's protected, and there is a pre-fitted screen protector too. So front and back, you've got a pretty well looked after device here. It might not be quite as well weighted as some flagships. When you tap it, it can feel a little bit hollow, but it still looks and feels exceptional for the price. And the screen looks great, but the screen looks really zingy. By default, it's set to vivid color mode. You will definitely want to go into the settings and change that to normal so it doesn't look quite as nuclear. Below the screen, like I said, you've got that fingerprint scanner, which works when wet. It can also double up as gesture controls to navigate through the user interface, making all the screen usable for that UI. Running Android 8.1 with Emotion UI 8.1, it's a very familiar user interface. The main area that the Honor 10 changes things is when it comes to the camera UI. Actually, not even the camera UI, the gallery UI. When you take your picture with the camera, it does this whole smart AI thing. It detects various aspects of the scenes and tunes your picture to make it look as good as it thinks it should look. Sometimes this is a hit, sometimes this is a miss. It's very similar to the P20 and P20 Pro, but in the case of the Honor 10, you can toggle the AI on and off after you've taken your shots. What this really does is show how much value the AI brings to the camera story. Fundamentally though, you do have a very good camera here. In great lighting, the pictures look excellent. With a 24 megapixel, 16 megapixel combination, you've got loads of detail. You've also got wide f2 aperture as well. In low light though, the lack of image stabilization means that pictures don't look fantastic, and you have none of the magical night modes you have with the P20 and P20 Pro that enable 4-second exposures handheld. If you want great night shots, you'll have to get a tripod. That said, when it comes to video, the electric stabilization has come over from the P20 and P20 Pro, keeping everything nice and still even when you're zoomed in. And it can shoot up to 4K as well. With the Kirin 970 processor, we haven't had any issues with the power under the hood, but it is early software, so we're still waiting for a few things to be ironed out. For example, Android Pay isn't working here in the UK yet, but that should be fixed soon. In addition to that, 4 GB of RAM is absolutely plenty, and you've got 3,400 milliamps of battery, which keeps this thing going a full day, but no more, especially if you are a heavy user. Found that screen on time massively impacts how much time you're going to get out of this thing, so make sure you keep your standby time to around 30 seconds if you want to save on battery. 128 gigabytes of storage, absolutely plenty, but there is no micro SD card expansion option here. That said, there is a dual SIM slot. So the Honor 10 at £399 is an excellent value for money phone from the offset. The only area that it really drops the ball is potentially a lack of wireless charging if you care about that, but if you don't, then this is across the board a sweet deal. Like I said, this is an early review, so check back later for the full review. I'll be showcasing more camera samples and giving you more in-depth battery scores, but hopefully you've enjoyed it. For everything else Honor 10 related, techradar.com is your destination. Thanks for watching.